Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review I'll Take Your Dead. Some truths can't be hidden.
Directed by Chad Archibald, starring Ava Preston, Aidan Devine, and Jess Salgueiro, this movie's about what the mob would call a cleaner. Somebody who disposes of bodies when bad shit is happening and a body needs to be disposed of without anybody knowing. His name is William. He lives on a farm with his daughter, Gloria. One day, William gets 3 new bodies delivered to his doorstep from a gang, and one of them actually is not quite dead. Her name is Jackie. And now William needs to figure out what the hell he's gonna do with her and how to keep his daughter out of this whole situation. So what do we like?
I thought they did a great job creating this story because it's not just a suspense thriller, but it's also a paranormal film because you have William who is dealing with all of these dead gang members, whereas his daughter Gloria can see the dead people that William is disposing of, and it creates this eerie atmosphere.
But under all of that, it's more of like a character-driven piece with the family. William's trying to figure out how to do the right thing, while also trying to figure out how to get himself out of this whole business. When you're dealing with gangs, you're gonna have some heavy shit hanging above your head. So he doesn't want to get his family in trouble. And then you have Gloria, who's befriending Jackie because she doesn't have a mother figure in her life. It actually works very, very well.
And the reason it works well is because all 3 actors are very believable. It is a standout performance with everyone here because it is like a 1-location film, so it's dialogue driven. Aidan Devine, Ava Preston, and Jess Salgueiro do a great job making you believe that what they're feeling and what they're going through are the emotions that they're displaying through their dialogue.
Ava, I think, was the biggest standout for me, mainly because you can almost see the trajectory of her career from here already. We saw her in Critters Attack, we saw her in this movie, and we actually had the opportunity to see a Q&A with her. She's very well spoken, she's very precise with the way that she talks, and it comes off in her acting as well. She's a very smart girl who reminds me a lot of a young Lacey Chabert.
You always say these people are bad. What if she's bad and she wants to hurt us?
Well, she's tied up.
What if she's dangerous? You don't even know her.
And Lacey is basically a household name, and I can't see why Ava wouldn't be in the future.
I also really enjoyed the costume and makeup effects of this film, mainly from the ghosts' perspective. They were very intimidating, and you can feel the sadness within their eyes, especially when Gloria's interacting with a child spirit. Right there, you know that these ghosts aren't necessarily bad people, but then you have the Burning Man, who is really scary, and you can tell Gloria doesn't want to face him. But all in all, they look fantastic.
The cinematography was also incredibly well done. We do know the director and we know the team behind this is Black Fawn Films. And they did Bite, Bed of the Dead, Heretics, and a ton of other movies. But friendship aside, this felt like it was on a different level as far as the production aspect was concerned. From the cinematography, the sound design of this old creaking house that has secrets, the whole atmosphere that was built was incredible considering this was made for a smaller budget.
Yeah, the house itself is absolutely creepy. How it's lit, how it's shot, you actually feel like I do not want to live here, and this is definitely a place that dead bodies come to be disposed of.
Yeah, it's an isolated farm. It's the middle of winter, and that definitely, you can feel that watching this movie through the way that it was done. Couple that with the acting, you have a pretty solid atmosphere, and it really sets the tone for the whole film. Now, what didn't we like? Firstly, I'd like to state that this is less of a horror film than I thought it would be going into it. Like I mentioned, it is more of a character piece, but if you're expecting a lot of blood and guts and stuff, don't. And if you're expecting a lot of scares, also don't. This movie does have a little bit of both, but it's more about the characters. So my dislike here is almost kind of the build-up at the beginning, because you see William chopping up a dead body at the beginning. Even the poster presents itself like it's more of a ghost film than it actually is. And it's really neither of those. It's kind of an amalgamation of both. And I think if you go in with some kind of expectation, you'll be disappointed in either regard.
I mean, when I hear I'll Take Your Dead, all I can think of is the Monty Python skit where it's bring out your dead.
I'm not dead.
Yeah,
He says he's not dead.
Yes, he is.
I'm not.
Not the humor aspect, but like a place where like people are just collecting dead. Like maybe this guy is someone who just like collects dead bodies. And not knowing much about it, I think, is the kind of downfall of this film. A lot of the times we say don't watch trailers because you don't want to be spoiled, but this film does a good job in its trailer by not spoiling it, and knowing what you're getting into, you have a stronger appreciation for the film itself.
Well, we did praise like the general acting of the film. I did have issue with some of our gangsters. Our gangsters didn't feel as gangster as you think that they should be, considering what they're doing is dropping dead bodies off at somebody's house to get cut up. They seemed way too soft for that. They seemed like they were very green gangsters, like they haven't done this before, but their characters suggest that they had. But I mean, on that, maybe their characters also sucked at their job because one of them was fucking alive. Check the pulse, dude. I'm not a guy who's looking for a cleaner, but I know what I should do now, thank you. Make sure they're fucking dead before you want to get their bodies chopped up. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. It was way different than I thought it was going to be, but I enjoyed myself because the characters were believable, you cared about every single person, and in a one location style of movie, everybody needs to be believable, and I cared for the situations because you can be empathetic with every single person, and that's very difficult to do. The atmosphere was excellent, and it's a very unique mashup of family-style drama with a morbid undertone and some paranormal stuff mixed in. And I think they did a really great job with it. But again, the acting was just the crutch of this whole movie, and I think it was perfect for what it needed to be. I did have some issues with some of the gangsters, but I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't take away from my experience. I would highly recommend this film. So I'm gonna give this 4 bloody messes out of 5.
Not knowing much about this film, I was very surprised with how it turned out. This film does have elements of a paranormal movie, and I thought that was a unique take on this story. Even with that aside, I really enjoyed how our characters delivered their lines, how they were developed, and how this film was paced. It has suspenseful moments, it has heartfelt moments, it even has a few funny moments in it. It's just one of those films that has a little bit of everything, and I really enjoyed how it turned out. I thought our acting was phenomenal. I liked the atmosphere from an aesthetic standpoint and a story standpoint. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 4.5 more awkward bloody messes out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.